back to our show. I'm just going to blow the teaser right here, but, if you have a garbage disposal that isn't working, you twist the little knob underneath with an Allen wrench. It does wonders. I learned that from our next guest, Steve Araki, who joins us, who's been with Beacon Plumbing, Seattle's #1 plumbing service, which was founded in 1999. Steve, how are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for helping me understand how to clear a garbage disposal.
Well, it's a very simple thing, but a lot of people don't have that little bit of information, and we're happy to share that knowledge with the customers to save themselves an unnecessary sales call by us.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does, and what you're referring to is there's two things on that disposal that you need to look at. One is there's a little red reset button, and the other is there's a little slot in the bottom where you can fit an Allen wrench, and if you just twist that counterclockwise, you can oftentimes free up a jam and find that hit the reset button and your disposal's working just fine.
That's right. That's how I got a dime out of our sink.
Yeah.
I don't know how a dime got in there, but I'm blaming it on the kid.
You'd be amazed the number of things that can come out of a disposal. Another easy tip for a homeowner that it's to save themselves some potential loss is to know where the shutoff valve is to the house. And the shutoff valve is the place where the water service from the meter comes into your home. And typically there's a valve that you can turn to shut the water off to your house. So if you had a water heater that bursts or you have a pipe that bursts, you just shut the shutoff valve off and you can save yourself potentially a lot of water damage.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come out to your home, we're happy to always point out and tag the shutoff valve for our customers to make sure that they know where that is, because in the case of emergency, people tend to kind of panic and they don't think about shutting the source of the water off. They just sit there and watch that water rush in and towels and they think about all these various things that are happening to their house, which is going to probably happen. But if you take the source and cut that off, that's a very simple thing. And whenever we're out to our home, we're happy to tag that valve for the people and make sure they know what that shutoff valve is.
I think I just need you guys to go into my house for a lesson.
Well, another thing about damages is that I think if you talk to insurance companies, one of the biggest sources of water damage in homes comes from washing machines. And it's people are on vacation and the washing machine supply line, the hot or the cold coming in the washing machine bursts, and you've got all that water running and running and running. So one of the things you can do when you go on vacation is to think about shutting the water off to the house entirely or shutting off water, the washing machine valves, just so when you're gone, you're not worried about something like that happening. You can save yourself coming back to a horrible mess.
No, I mean, I guess, are you talking in the house shutting it off or shutting it off from the street?
Well, you can shut off from the street, but that works. Or rather than having to go out in the meter box and fish around, because sometimes
they spiders.
And they sometimes have special key box things you have to use to turn them on and off, and it's just a lot easier to turn it off at the house.
We did that. We had a leak, and I want to get in more about Beacon, but now you got me going on. We had a leak once, and I had to go check, and you watch that little triangle to see if it's spinning around.
Right.
And I tell you open that thing, there are critters inside those water boxes, and if you don't like critters like me, you can quit freaking and call Beacon.
Well, and sometimes people think about leaks in the house, and they're going, gosh, I don't know if I have a leak in the house. Or is the leak on the line between the meter and the house? And if you know where your shutoff valve is, a very simple thing to do is shut that valve off to the house, and you check your meter box, and if the dial is still spinning, the water's still coming from the meter box to the house at some point, so you got a leak in your supply line, you got to get that fixed.
Yeah, that's where you start digging up the front yard and doing the whole nine.
Yeah.
Steve, so you've been, Beacon is I consider Beacon one of these kind of pillars in the community because, everybody knows who they are, and if you don't know who a company is, it's very difficult for them to be a pillar. But give us a little bit about the history of Beacon. How did Beacon get from relative obscurity in '99 when it was founded to the back of half the buses in Seattle and a jingle that everybody knows?
The jingle was created by the owner, and the owner started the company in his garage out of his house with $6 in his pocket.
Wow. And
he built it over the years into what it is through a lot of dedication, hard work, and sacrifice. But one of the things is he grew up on Beacon Hill. We're a family-owned company primarily. We don't employ a great deal of number of people in the office. We do employ a fair number of people in the field and with associated tasks around the shop. And we're just very thankful to be part of the community. And we want to take this opportunity to tell people not about plumbing, but about our commitment to the community.
Yeah, what does it all come down to?
Well, it comes down to, for us, living and being part of the community and not just taking money from the community, but giving back to the community. And the company does that in a variety of different ways. People know us a lot from our sponsorship of a variety of events like Seafair. We work with partners like Emerald Queen Casino on a number of events. One of the things that we're involved with right now is we're one of the sponsors of the Fisher House.
What is the Fisher House?
The Fisher House is sort of like the Ronald McDonald House for families, but it's meant for veterans only. And so people who have family that have been wounded and they need to have a visit with them and spend some time with them, the Fisher House is there to allow the families of the vets to spend time with their wounded and not have to worry about housing costs,
hotels,
whatever it may be. And we have been involved in that since last year. And the goal is to get more houses built.
So what are more, is that a local, is that a national, is it just a local thing?
It's a local thing. You can get your Cairo Radio and TV are big sponsors of that, Fisher House, and are the primary, they have, I think, a primary member of the Fisher House Foundation. And they have been working very, very hard to try and get more and more funds raised for this cause. And, we obviously, it goes without saying that we support our veterans.
Sure.
But it also goes without saying that the families of the veterans need help as well.
Yeah. If you watch Homeland, which I do, you tend to see that interaction and how difficult it can be.
Yes, yeah, it's and so we think it's an extremely worthy cause, just like our involvement with Northwest Harvest. We contribute cash. I think we were one of the largest cash contributors last year in their latest fund drive amongst companies and individuals. And we every day go out into a home, and anybody who has us in their home, if they'll give us some canned goods, we'll be happy to take those in the truck and take them back to the shop, and then we get them over to Northwest Harvest. And we produce boxfuls of food every month doing that.
So that's something that you guys are doing, on a daily basis, is procuring food for the Northwest Harvest.
Yes, we do it every day, 7 days a week. And we're committed to do that not just during the holidays, but throughout the year. Because, again, people in the community should not be going hungry.
I think that, to know that you're able to take it's practical. And it's not a hard thing to do, but if you have the guys or gals that are out in the field and they're trained to do this is something I think that other companies could model, whether it would be Comcast or whoever, because they have people who are at people's house all the time.
Right.
And what a simple thing. And I think most people are willing to give that can of food or a couple of cans or whatever it may be.
Exactly. And it's just little things you build on day by day, not something large and sweeping necessarily. But,
sure.
And it's kind of like building your business. You build it customer by customer. And in our business, especially referral by referral, we survive. Despite all the promotion things that we do, our company really survives on its repeat business.
Sure. We're here with Steve Araki with Beacon Plumbing. Steve, we just have about a minute left. Any other key factors you guys are working on in the community these days?
Beyond those two items that I mentioned, no. We continue to try and help out in some ways. We sponsored a cruise for the law enforcement memorial people, of law enforcement people who's lost their family in the line of duty, and we had a boat take them out for a Christmas cruise of the families and the children. That's great. And that was just done out of the goodness of an appreciation of the company again for the sacrifices people make for the community. Yeah, well, congrats on not only your business, but also just with the impact you guys have on the community. It certainly bodes well for not only business, but for the community as well. So as
as you guys do well, so does the community.
Exactly, and that's the way it should be for all businesses.
Steve, thanks so much for joining us. We do have to go to break. Stick around. We'd love to get a few more of your thoughts along with the rest of our in-studio guests. We'll be right back.
Absolutely.